What does a mysterious ringing payphone, a hacked website, and a cryptic string of numbers have in common? Well, they're all the tools of the trade in the world of alternate reality gaming. It's like a video game happening in the real world. We've seen these real-life treasure hunts happen in games like Halo 2 with the I Love Bees campaign. Well, tonight on Gamehead, we're here in Pasadena, California at 42 Entertainment, the puppet masters behind some of the biggest ARGs out there. And they're going to tell us all about this emerging form of gaming. And who knows, maybe we have a few hints of our own in this show. Plus, all the latest video game news, reviews, and previews right here on Gamehead. Tonight on Gamehead, we review MLB 2K7 and Super Paper Mario. We cover the Guitar Hero 2 Jam Fest competition in New York City. Plus, Game Trailers goes on location to cover the darkness of Comic-Con and world premieres a brand new trailer for Ninja Gaiden Sigma. Hey everybody, welcome to Gamehead. I'm Geoff Keighley, and this week we're here in Pasadena, California at 42 Entertainment. We're with Jordan Weissman, the mastermind, or the impresario as they call you, behind all this madness. You guys do something that's a little bit different. You don't make video games. What you make are alternate reality games.
What we do is we create very fictionally immersive experiences that are spread across what we call the media sphere. Everything from your cell phone to your IM to your morning newspaper to the marching band in the middle of your college football game.
You're trying to tell a story, but rather than tell that story in a linear format, you actually break the story up into little pieces, and you have the audience, yourself, like find the pieces and put the story together.
I would think of it more as alternate reality experiences. And what we're really trying to do there is break it beyond the notion of just what people think of in terms of standard gamings.
This experience is going to use your life as a game board. We're going to use your phone, we're going to use your email, we're going to use your friends to deliver entertainment to you. We're going to actually play with you. We're not going to play with you in a box, we're going to play with your life.
Buy yourself some peanuts, Cracker Jacks, no berry bonds, and maybe a new way to hit the ball in 2K Sports' MLB 2K7. Straight out of the bullpen, 2K7 picks up the rosin bag and tries to tighten its grip on next-gen gameplay. The result is the right analog-controlled swing stick, which proves more annoying than effective, especially since it's hard to read the difference between balls and strikes at the plate. On the PS3, you simply push the 6-axis forward to swing. Great ideas, but the old RBI Baseball A button still works for me. Luckily, the pitching interface avoids the second analog stick curse, so you can spend your time admiring how the developers perfectly matched Ken Griffey's swing. By the bottom of the ninth, 2K7 ends up being a solid, if not a bit overly complicated and frustrating trip around the bases. It gets a Gamehead score of 7.5 out of 10. I was at this E3 press conference. There was this big video that came up of Steven Spielberg saying, I'm so proud we were doing 3 big games with Microsoft for Xbox.
And we had this really fun contract where we were going to work with Spielberg. We were going to make 3 different AI games, including this one that was going to kind of hold them all together, right? This we called it the Beast.
The original premise of what we call the Beast was to set a context of a world behind the film.
So we had this problem, right? None of the real games were going to be shipped.
Right.
But we still had this concept for this overarching game, this bizarre thing that would call you in the middle of the night and you'd receive email from the game and it would push you in different directions and, in effect, turn your life into part of the game. And so what we did was we took the movie posters and took all the one-sheets. And, like, you know, at the bottom of a movie poster, it normally says directed by Spielberg, produced by Kathleen Kennedy, etc. We inserted a fictional credit in there.
There's a sentient design.
Sentient machine therapist. Yeah. And enough people looked at that and scratched their heads and said, what the hell's a sentient machine therapist? And you do a Google search, and suddenly you find her webpage. Yeah. And you go onto that webpage and you start poking around, and, you know, she links to the place she works, and she links to the place she went to school, and she worked on this movie, AI, and, oh, and by the way, I've got this friend who died under really mysterious circumstances. And if you know anything about this, because it seems really odd to me, call this phone number and let me know. Right. And you call the phone number, and someone actually answers. And they tell you about a funeral that you can actually go to. Yeah. And all of a sudden, you're knee-deep in a murder mystery. But it's an experience that will never, ever admit to you that it's a game.
Hey, Daniel Kaiser in New York City here at Comic-Con 2007 inside 2K's booth. where I'm getting ready to speak with Anthony DeLuca, who's the producer on the upcoming hit title, The Darkness. It's not a hit yet, but I think a lot of people are thinking it's going to be a hit.
It's going to be. So from the reaction we see from the fans today, which is really positive, I think it's turning out really good. Bringing The Darkness over from a comic book it's always a difficult thing to go from a 2D realm to a 3D realm. But really, like, I have to put a lot of credit to Starbees, the developers, the guys who did Chronicles of Riddick, and also Top Guy. Having Mark Silvestri really give a visual direction, an artistic standpoint. And we also had Paul Jenkins, famed comic book writer who did the Resurrection series for The Darkness, really be involved with the dialogue. So basically, it was a conjunction from everybody in 2K as well to kind of bring this, this gritty, kind of dark comic book into a 3D realm and making it fun, which is really the overall goal of the game. And really bringing Jackie Estacado and the Darklings, all these demonic powers, making it fun in the game. Shooting out the lights, really a unique gameplay. So it was a challenge, but at the same time, something fun. And we really took off with it, really. So it's been in production for over 2 years now. So it's really, we want to give it that polish and it really taking time with it. So it's been fun.
The Darkness hits store shelves this June, but you can check out all the very latest on the game right now over at GameTrailers.com.
Next on Gamehead, we hear about the gamers who swarmed payphones for I Love Bees. Gamehead's Movie Alert lets you in on the hottest video game movie news. And still to come, Game Trailers downloads an exclusive trailer for Ninja Gaiden Sigma. To celebrate the release of Guitar Hero 2 on the Xbox 360, Microsoft hosted the Guitar Hero 2 Jam Fest competition, where 5 of the country's top virtual gunslingers face off in New York City.
My name's Matt from Colorado, and we're playing here just to have some fun and show off the new game on the Xbox 360.
I'm going to win today because I have a song I practice a lot, pretty good at. I feel pretty confident.
Yeah, I'm just really glad to be participating in something like this because it's a really, really great game, and I'm hoping that at least I can give some of these folks a run for their money.
I'm going to win because I picked probably the best song in this entire game. I picked Dead, and it's the most fun song to play, and the crowd's going to love it the most.
I play like a freak. Like, people are like, Kelly, where have you been? And I'm like, I've been at home playing Guitar Hero and upping scores.
Stay tuned to Gamehead to see what and who these 5 gamers are playing for.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Gamehead this week from 42 Entertainment here in Pasadena, California. I'm with Susan, who's the executive producer at 42, who makes all these crazy ARGs. Yeah, I remember actually getting my honey in the mail, I think, and no one knew, get this sort of, thing of honey and you're not sure what it is.
I Love Bees was a component of the marketing campaign for the launch of Halo 2. The mainline marketing campaign was using a theme of War of the Worlds. The concept that the team came up with was to create an episodic audio drama broadcast at payphones around the world.
Basically, we had to have people going from city to city to city and actually testing out the payphone. I think it was 75,000 ringing payphones.
And the audience, in a kind of game of 6 degrees of separation, had to keep reaching out to find people who could answer the phones in the very bizarre places across the United States and around the world at a specific time and enter a specific code. When they did that, it would unlock that bit of audio drama onto the web for the whole world to then kind of play audio editor and recombine and solve the story together.
So what is I Love Bees? It's a beekeeper site, a retired teacher, who actually loved bees and had a lot of honey recipes. But unfortunately, that had been taken over by an alien from the future.
The winner of the Guitar Hero 2 Jam Fest will not only have bragging rights on being the best virtual strummer, but will also get every virtual guitarist dream.
The prize today is this heavily modded guitar that's actually a real guitar, but it has frets and it has a strum bar and everything, and actually is playable on the Xbox 360. We also get to play on stage with Gene Simmons. We'll get to play Strutter with him.
I'm the prize. Everybody starts having a good time. Their bodies start to contort and you start to move with the music, and when you're having a great goddamn time, it's less about a contest and everybody wins. But only Guitar Hero 2 on Xbox 360. But you knew that.
The Custom Acts and Right to Rock with Gene are up for grabs when Gamehead's coverage of the Guitar Hero 2 Jam Fest continues.
You guys had a lot of success with I Love Bees for Halo 2, so much so that Microsoft came back to you. You can now admit, I guess, to do Hex 168, which was an ARG for the launch of the Xbox 360.
We created a very kind of rapper story that kind of set a tone of humor and kind of the beginning is nigh, this whole concept that the world is about to radically change from the point of view of a totally whacked out guy who was underneath house arrest in his own laboratory.
But we also did signs, physical signs, crop circles, and,
Or they were just,
street preachers and, like,
labels pasted on, phones.
Marquees on movie
billboards.
theaters, all announcing, hey, the beginning and that what's coming, something's coming, it's going to be different. And so we were able to engage the community and kind of channel all this excitement they had about the Xboxes coming out.
Right.
So the thing that they got to do was just kind of fun. It was just kind of a fun fictional setup, which is things aren't what they seem, so go out and document things that are different from what they seem. And so they got to use their imagination in kind of a creative way to win an Xbox.
It looks like Cliffy B may soon be known as executive producer Clifford Blazinski, as New Line Studios has purchased the rights to produce a Gears of War movie. Collateral screenwriter Stuart Betty is set to write the adaptation, and we can only guess that maybe Ron Perlman will star as Marcus Phoenix. Everyone's favorite sheriff of Deadwood, Timothy Oliphant, has nabbed the role of Agent 47 in the upcoming adaptation of Eidos's Hitman series. Hopefully the film will be as fun as Blood Money. Coming up next on Gamehead, the guys at 42 tell us about their Graveyard Texas Hold'em game. Game Trailers premieres an exclusive look at Ninja Gaiden for the PS3. And still to come, we try to decode some clues on a possible ARG for Halo 3. It's time for the UView Question of the Week. There have been some pretty memorable alternate reality games over the years. From our list, what's your favorite ARG of all time? Christmas Stories, Be Sure to Drink Your Ovaltine, Pink Floyd's Publius Enigma, The Beatles' Paul is Dead, or The Lost Experience. Be sure to place your vote at gamehead.spiketv.com.
This week, we're stepping inside the world of alternate reality gaming at 42 Entertainment. I'm now joined by Alon, who's the creative director here at 42. Let's talk about the Last Call poker game, which you did for Gun.
The concept for Last Call was, can we deliver an alternate reality through a poker engine?
Right.
And it started to use both poker engines for online play, where the more you played poker, the more strange things started happening to you, and real world play, where we developed a way to play poker in cemeteries. Yeah. And the basic concept was we figured out a way to turn every tombstone you could possibly see into a playing card. Like if it's a curved top, it's a heart. If it's a pointy top, it's a spade. Any tombstone you see can be a playing card. And so all of a sudden you can play Texas Hold'em in a cemetery with your friends. And we had people running around all over the country, eventually all over the world, playing poker.
Gamehead's coverage of the Guitar Hero 2 Jam Fest continues, and it's now the time you've been waiting for. Let's rock.
Daniel Cerna. I was doing more of the performance aspect, really getting into the actual song. Kelly Law Young.
Performance should have gone into it a little bit. I mean, I rocked out.
J.W. McNabe.
It was pretty close. It was a whole lot of fun coming here and rocking out.
Matt Nowak.
It went okay. Not my best run, but it was pretty good.
Felicia Williams.
Well, this is the first time I've ever actually competed in Guitar Hero, and competing in front of 800 people is pretty nerve-wracking.
We're all good. Scores tallied. You saw it. JW is the winner. How are you feeling there, sir? You've won.
It's amazing, yeah.
You're moments away from performing with Gene Simmons. Two great tongues.
It's amazing.
Guitar Hero 2 Jam Fest winner J.W. McNay rocks out to Strutter with Gene Simmons when Gamehead's coverage of the Guitar Hero 2 Jam Fest continues.
We just finished a great project for Windows Vista,
Yeah.
which was called The Vanishing Point.
Welcome to The Vanishing Point. Call me Loki.
We had a great kind of fictional puzzle master who was named Loki, and she was presenting these events as a way to kind of engage the global community in solving puzzles online.
It was fireworks shows and
the challenge for that was to come up with ways to hide clues, embed clues in real-world events, real-world entertainment events that would stand on their own. But then when you scrutinize them, you would find clues that would help you solve online puzzles. We were actually able to go out to 12 cities around the globe and go to places like the National Gallery and Brandenburg Gates and the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto, and get institutions who'd never really participated in anything like this to actually use landmarks as part of, clues for a global puzzle game.
Ninja Gaiden Sigma for the PlayStation 3 is easily one of the most anticipated titles of the year, and gamers have been slashing their way through our site to get the scoop. Well, now it's time to check out a little bit of this brand new world-exclusive trailer that we've just received. So there's just a taste of the new footage. But if you want to see it all, head on over to GameTrailers.com for the full Ninja Gaiden Sigma experience.
Next on Gamehead, we try to find out if there'll be an ARG for Halo 3. And finally, we review Super Paper Mario for the Nintendo Wii. Over 6,000 virtual ballers registered online for Pontiac's second annual virtual NCAA Final Four tournament. The Final Four gamers competed in a thrilling showdown in front of 50,000 spectators at the Pontiac Garage in Atlanta's Centennial Park. Those who never made it into the Final Four still stayed a part of the action by checking scores, virtual highlights, and voting for the top virtual Pontiac game-changing performances at ncaasports.com/Pontiac. In the end, Antoine Lilia Boston hoisted up the Pontiac trophy and drove home in a brand new 2007 Pontiac G5 GT. Antoine didn't just watch the tournament, he lived it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Gamehead inside of 42 Entertainment, an exclusive look behind the scenes of this company, which is doing some pretty amazing alternate reality games. I'm now joined by Alex, who's the VP of Creative Design here. Alex, you guys have done a lot of very cool games over the years. What haven't you been able to pull off yet? I mean, is there some crazy idea that you're just
Well, you know, cadavers were mentioned a few weeks ago, but we haven't pulled that one off yet.
You've certainly done marketing ARGs based on video games, but we've yet to see sort of the, you guys build a game yourselves or actually partner with someone to actually make sort of, an ARG-like experience around a video game. Do you think we'll see that in the near future?
I do. I do think you'll see that. I think that it's, it is becoming a legitimate art form. Anytime you see a telephone number in a movie or something, odds are it's real now.
I've done it in 24. You dial the number and there's, voicemail box.
Exactly. No, I mean, these techniques that we pioneered are really becoming part of our culture.
Well, I think we're definitely seeing that there's a lot of people who are interested in kind of the transmedia format, where something reaches out into the real world and it calls their cell phone, or they have to go someplace, they have to follow GPS coordinates, they get to do things on the web, and they get to have a community where they get to discuss things.
Right.
So I think that it is an art form, it is content. So I think it's logical to think that ultimately it will be a product that people will want.
In the wake of last year's hit DS game New Super Mario Bros., Retro Mario is all the rage. So along comes Super Paper Mario, a hybrid action role-playing game for the Wii. The premise is pretty cool. A paper-thin Mario walks around a 2D world that can suddenly be flipped into 3D for a few seconds to reveal hidden paths and to avoid enemies. But it's not all Goomba-stomping action. In fact, there's a deep RPG element with backtracking and, yes, lots of text. The first 20 minutes of the game are spent reading text bubbles. Most of the time, you hold the Wiimote sideways like an NES controller, but at times you can point the controller at the screen. That activates a series of pixels. They're special helpers that reveal hidden doors, help Mario float, or one can even plant bombs. Well, the game doesn't make great use of the Wii controller. It's a deep and engrossing RPG light. It stomps up a Gamehead score of 8.5 out of 10.
Now, Microsoft is bringing out Halo 3 this fall. I mean, they had success with Halo 2. Do you think they would decide to go back in and do something for Halo 3, or do you think they've been there, done that?
Well, I think you're going to Redmond. You have to ask them.
Microsoft's not going to put out a Halo game without some kind of ARG, right?
I can't confirm or deny that.
No comment. Now you say it back to me.
No comment.
See, we practice.
You got any sneak peeks yet? Been up to Bungie? Checked it out?
You really should talk to Microsoft about that.
Talk to Microsoft. You guys are so cool. There's got to be hints around here. Maybe, people, as they're watching this show, maybe they're actually a part of the Halo 3 ARG right now. They just don't know it.
They have no idea.
There's this relationship that exists between the players and the game designers.
Yeah.
And we ask them to do crazy things, right? We've asked players to leave their homes and answer payphones. We've asked them to walk down the street in the middle of a hurricane in Florida to solve a certain puzzle. And anytime we sort of peek through the curtain,
break that fourth wall. Right?
Yeah, anytime you do that, you're kind of reminding the players, by the way, this isn't real. By the way, you're playing a thing that we invented.
So I guess you're not going to tell us the whole roadmap.
That was a really long way of saying no comment.
And the winner of the Guitar Hero 2 Jam Fest competition is J.W. McNay from South Lake, Texas.
It's amazing. I feel very lucky to win it because it's like a one-of-a-kind thing.
You
got on stage, he was ready. He was ready to have fun. And he made me feel comfortable right away, so I just started rocking out with him. Didn't even worry. It was a whole lot of fun.
JW may have gotten the guitar, but Gene still gets the girls.
I'm Gene Simmons, and you're not. I know the game. Do you?
This episode of Gamehead will be available tomorrow on SpikeTV.com for your viewing pleasure. Did you catch any of our clues? If not, watch again.
Get ready for full-on global warfare. It's our biggest night of fights ever, and it's free on Spike. UFC 70, Nations Collide from Manchester, England. Featuring the world's most feared heavyweight striker, Mirko Krokop, facing off against submission specialist Gabe Gonzaga. Plus Ultimate Fighter 3 winner Michael Bisping and former heavyweight champion Andre the Pitbull Arlovsky. UFC 70, Nations Collide. Tomorrow at 9. Free on Spike.